everybody. Welcome to this version of Pit Stop. Today I got an excellent gentleman. Mr. Daryl Smith joins me. He's from Baltimore. He played Major League Baseball. He played for the Kansas City Royals. And he's been working at Len Stoler Lexus for the last 25 years. And he does so much for the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mr. Daryl Smith. All right, Daryl, we're going to start with where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born and raised at Cold Spring and York Road in Baltimore, Maryland, born at Franklin Square Hospital.
Now, when you were a kid, did you want to be a ball player?
All my life I wanted to be a ball player.
So tell me about how your dreams came true.
Wow, my dreams came true playing stick ball in the alley, always asking somebody to play catch with me, throw me bat in practice, teach me this, teach me that. But primarily it was my mom who saw my dream and helped me achieve it because she actually became my first baseball coach until some other folks got a hold of me and saw the talent that I possessed. And then from there, they took matters into their own hand and took the burden off my mom a little bit while she raised the other three gals.
Wow. So tell me your steps up to the major leagues.
Well, I started off playing at Northwood Little League. I went from Northwood Little League to Harford Road Little League. And from Harford Road, I started playing with the Rebels and Heron Run and then the Eli Giants. And then from high school, we really didn't have a great team, but we won some close games and got blown out a lot as well. But high school, I was shining as a summer ball player when I played with more talent. So I actually pitched a no-hitter against the Naval Academy. I actually pitched a no-hitter against the defending champs, St. Mark's. And that's how I got noticed by Joe Consoli, a scout for the Bureau with Pittsburgh. And then they came knocking on the door. Everybody wanted to see Daryl pitch. And then they offered me a little bit of money, and my mom tore up the check and sent me to junior college.
So then you started out with Pittsburgh?
Started out with the Rangers because we didn't sign with the Bureau, which was Pittsburgh. My mom bought me a moped, sent me to junior college because they put me back in the draft. So I got drafted in the 6th round, and that's when the Rangers took me, and they gave me a signing bonus, and they gave me some education, and off I went. And I didn't return home for over 15 years.
So what was your journey from the Rangers?
Oh, my. Played 5 years with the Rangers organization. I had great years. It was a big learning process, but it was worth it because the desire was there. So I played with the Rangers. They pawned me off to the Padres for 3 months. I started picking up velocity, and they took me back. And then an injury sent me away from there. And then I signed with not the Dodgers, but the Reading Phillies. And then I started playing with the White Sox, the Indians, the Yankees, the Orioles Farm Club. So I started getting tossed around in the minor leagues. But you don't get tossed around if you're not good. You get tossed around because other people have needs. So other teams had needs, and I felt like as long as I had a jersey on, I had a chance. And it became true because I stuck it out for over 10 years. I think my record was over 69, 70 wins and 30-something losses before I finally made it to the big leagues. And in 1990, my dream came true, and I made it to the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals. Got to play alongside of Brett Saberhagen, George Brett, and Bo Jackson. I was where I needed to be at that point.
But how special was that to play with those Hall of Famers?
Oh, my gosh. It was great, and I thought I was going to have George Brett playing third base for me, but that game he played first base, and they moved Bill Pecota over to third. But I got a chance to meet Willie Wilson, stay at his house. Frank White treated me like a son. I played with Bob Boone. I mean, who can say that they threw to Bob Boone? It's no different than when I was at Memorial Stadium and I was with other organizations, and I had Elrod, who would catch me after all the other pitchers, Palmer, Flanagan, McGregor, all of those guys, Tippy, when they leave. Next thing you know, Elrod would say, "Come on, son." He took me in, man. And in my book, I literally say Elrod was like my dad because, my dad died when I was 11 of Agent Orange and leukemia. He was in the war in Vietnam, and I didn't have a father figure. I had uncles that, were that influential to me, and they taught me right, wrong, and different. But Elrod in the baseball world, it was Elrod, it was Paul Blair. They all just took me under their wing and taught me right, wrong, and different as well.
Well, you said earlier your mom stepped forward and helped you out.
She was pivotal. Mom played softball till she was 55, and
wow.
She died at 55. So that lets you know that she had the gut instinct that was passed on to me. And like I said, I feel great that I had a mother that made sure that her son's dream came true. I mean, she stuck by me 100%.
So how special was it growing up in Baltimore, watching the great Oriole teams from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and then coming and actually playing at Memorial Stadium? What was that feeling?
Yeah, it's crazy because when I was with the Bay Sox, I actually pitched the last game at Memorial Stadium, and Buford was the manager, and I did well. And then after I left there, I went somewhere else. But to come back to Baltimore, I mean, the Sun paper had articles all over the place. Daryl Smith returns home and all. And you would have thought that I was a Cy Young winner, 20 games up there. But, I put forth the effort, and that's what I keep teaching kids. You put forth the effort, and you will receive. You will get something out of it. But to come back to Baltimore and pitch in front of all of my friends and people who knew that I was from here, Maryland Star of the Future, everybody used to follow me in the minor leagues because Cal Ripken won it in 81, I won it in 82, and Billy won it in 83. So I'm between the Ripken brothers for winning, Maryland Star of the Future. Other great recipients, Harold Baines, Moose Haas. I mean, these are some great awards. So a lot of scouts hung their hat on me. They knew that I'd make it, but they didn't fall short because I did make it. And Joe Klein, he was a farm director for the Texas Rangers, and he was from here. And the best part about it is he stayed in touch with me because he knew that I had a dream and he knew that I would achieve it.
Wow. Okay, so you leave baseball. Now, for the last 25 years, you've been at Len Stoler Lexus.
I came into Len Stoler Lexus to buy a car, and when they pull your credit, thank God I had good credit. They pull your credit, they see where you've been through life. And they said, oh, this guy played with the Royals. Oh, this guy played with the Rangers. Oh, God, this played. So when they saw it, Mr. Stoler came out, and Jimmy Berg and Barry Stoler came out, and they introduced themselves to me. And they were like, what are you doing now? I said, I'm retired. I'm going to try to learn this game called golf. And they was like, well, you'll be back because golf is kind of tough. So they were right. 6 months later, I wasn't breaking 100. And I came back, and I said, hey, is that job still available? They actually told me that you would do well because you know so many people. So they were 100% right because I became one of the top salesmen in this town for sure, and highly ranked in the nation in sales.
Well, I got on a personal note, and Mr. Stoler is my sponsor, so I have to say that.
Yeah,
but I've known the man. I did a commercials with him back in the 70s with Burt Jones.
Oh, yeah.
So it was over 45 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about your book and your books you've written.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this was the first book that I've actually written. This book was written over 28 years ago, and it was called Dreams Do Exist. So basically, it just teaches you to follow your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations. But the day that I left home in 1980, my mom asked me to write about my life endeavors. I picked up a pen and I picked up a note leaf book, and I never stopped writing. I started writing every day. What happened in spring training? What happened? What I ate for lunch? What I ate for dinner? What altercation I may have gotten into? If I gave up a home run or if I hit a batter, I wrote about it. So I didn't know that it would come into fruition as well as it did. But to this day, I've sold over 20,000 copies of this book. And everybody that reads it thinks that it's educational and inspirational. And they really pat me on the back for not giving up on my hopes, my dreams, and my aspirations. So there's photos in here that take me back to my Afro day in high school, and photos that take you back to my kids who were on their way to college. And it's just a family
how
day.
could someone get the book if they want it?
DreamsDoExist.com or dreamsoftomorrow.org. There's a website where you can go and you can order the books. There's 8 other books on bullying, mentoring, and fruits and vegetables are good for you. So on childhood obesity. They will be on Amazon soon. I've just been concentrating on giving back. I've donated thousands of these books to elementary schools and rec centers. And since partnering with the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation, we've actually given each kid that attends the Chick-fil-A ranch a copy of different books that I have in my possession.
Now, you do a lot for the youth. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Wow. Yes, so we do a Youth and Jazz Expo every year at the Gordon Center for Performing Arts Theater in Owings Mills, Maryland. We use 6 kids and 6 adults. We help kids find their niche. We give them instruments. We give them a platform to shine. We sell out every year, 550 people. COVID did affect us in 2020. We did not do a show, but we still have to give back to the kids. So this year, this past year, I spent a lot of time doing virtual mentoring with the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation. So it's called Steve Harvey Virtual Mentoring. So we have so many mentors all over the world, and we go on Zoom every first Saturday of every month, and we mentor hundreds and hundreds of kids. Sometimes Steve will pop up and say hi to the kids, and other times we have special athletes pop in and say hi to the kids. So they're always surprised, and they're never disappointed, and we keep giving them hope.
Well, I sure appreciate everything you do, Daryl. Today, my special guest has been Mr. Daryl Smith. He's a leading salesman here at Len Stoler Lexus. He's an ex-ball player and just a decent man on this earth.
Thank you.